So welcome. I think we probably still have, we'll be welcoming a few more folks in the next few minutes, but we're going to get started. I'm excited to experience possibly a fun weather event together today. It's actually one of my favorite things to do in the summer is to sit out on a porch and watch a thunderstorm. So maybe we'll get to share that. But today is a very special day because our resident Wild Neighbors Nature Connection nature guide, Rich, is giving the message, and we want to celebrate and thank him today for all that he has given to us over our first year together, because he will soon be moving up north several hours.
Yeah.
So even though he already drives 1 hour to get here every Sunday, probably not going to be doable to keep driving, huh?
Probably not.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm just thankful that I get to be a part of this. Like, it's, I mean, if you're saying that me being here, contributing what I have to offer is something of a gift, the gifts are reciprocated. I mean, it's a gift to be a part of this community. And so I'm just super thankful. And I do hope that from time to time, I find the time to come back and visit for a church in the wild.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I'm sure you will.
This is not like goodbye forever, but this is like, I gotta move on to the next phase and next season in mine and Aaron's life, and that means not being here regularly, and it means that somebody else will likely take up the reins of bringing nature connection.
Private guests are probably camp.
I think that is a very
I don't
good
know
investment.
if one person can fill your hiking boots, Rich. I think it's going to have to be a group effort, but we'll make sure it happens. So we're sad to see you go. We're so grateful for everything you've given us, all the time and energy and gifts that you've shared as part of our community. And though I'm sad, I'm excited for you because I know that the Adirondacks is your happy place. So I'm excited you get to be there all the time.
Thank you.
So today will be a celebration and a congratulations and a thank you all wrapped together. And we'll get to get one last big dose of Rich's knowledge and energy when he gives the message in just a few minutes. So that'll be wonderful.
Yeah. Let's have some fun today.
Yeah. Woo! It's gonna be a fun day. I think everybody has been able to sign the book, but we'll keep passing it around as folks come. So now is the time to tell each other what is new and good in your life. We have some new and good stuff coming up with Church in the Wild. This coming weekend is the Enneagram Retreat. You could still sign up if you want to come. Friday to Saturday. And then in just a few weeks, like 3 weeks, right? June 5th, the first Sunday of June, will be our 1-year celebration. Woo! 1 year of worship, and we're having our first Sunday of the month annual potluck. Woo! So plan to hang out for a little bit to eat and celebrate 1 year of Church in the Wild worship. So I wanted to take a quick minute, especially while the kids are still here, before they go, to say sometimes there are not good things that happen in our life and in the world, right? Mm-hmm. Like yesterday, somebody from our town drove a long way to another city to hurt people who were different than him. And so we want everyone to know that we're ashamed of that. That makes us really sad, especially somebody from our community would do something to hurt other people. And that in some ways it feels like we kind of failed this person, that we didn't show him enough love or teach him about how to treat other people. And that we want to make sure that never happens again. So we are going to do everything we can to help all of our young people especially grow up to know how much they're loved and how important it is to show love to other people.
Tide is rising, and so are we. The tide is rising, and so are we.
Congratulating and celebrating Rich at the very beginning as he's soon to make his way north. So I didn't get the chance to remind everybody the bathrooms are right inside.
Do you want to go to the bathroom?
If you need to, feel free to move, do what you need to do during this time to be able to connect with the wild spirit and to be together. And for kids, that means we're going to stay in the circle until it's time to go with Tati, okay? And we're going to take some time now to listen to a poem, and then we're going to listen to the poetry of nature.
Tati inside?
I think today we're going to go inside, yeah, because you need to make some cards for Mr. Rich before he goes. So we have some materials to do that, okay?
And then
Yes.
you can write some pictures about this book.
Perfect. So hear this poem by, oh, go right ahead.
We got here a little bit late for the good news. I want to congratulate Kristen. She graduates with a master's in education on Saturday.
Yay! Congratulations. That is definitely a new and good thing to celebrate. We have a poem now by Mr. Fred Rogers. Yes.
I noticed there's a lot of bees around.
Yeah, that's true. But
They're
they're
wood bees. They're called wood bees.
yeah, they don't hurt us, thankfully.
Only if you bother them because they have no stingers.
Right.
Do you know what they're saying? What kind of bees are they?
Wood bees.
So they're saying, would you be mine?
They say
Would you-
buzz They say
Okay, it's time. Time to focus and listen. You ready? Things Are Different by Fred Rogers. You never know the story by the cover of the book. You can't tell what a dinner's like by simply looking at the cook. It's something everybody needs to know, way down deep inside, that things are often different than the way they look. When I put on a costume to play a fancy part, that costume changes just my looks. It doesn't change my heart. But you cannot know what someone's thinking by the picture you just took, because things are often different from the way they look. Got some lyrics on the back.
It's a beautiful day in this neighborhood, a beautiful day for a neighbor. Would you be mine? Would you be mine? It's a neighborly day in this beauty good, a neighborly day for beauty. Would you be mine? Would you be mine? I have always wanted to have a neighbor just like you. I have always wanted to live with you. Let's bless the close of this beautiful day. Since we're together, you might as well say, would you be mine? Would you be mine? Would you be my neighbor? Won't you please? Oh, won't you please? Won't you please be my neighbor?
Hello?
Not your voice, they're just beside you. But it's you and every part of you. In your eyes, your feelings when you're older. I hope that you'll remember even when you're feeling it's you yourself, it's you.
Hear these words from Christian scriptures, from Luke 10. A legal expert stood up to test Jesus. "Teacher," he said, "what must I do to gain eternal life?" Jesus replied, "What is written in the law? How do you interpret it?" The man responded, "You must love God with all your heart, with all your being, with all your strength, and with all your mind, and love your neighbor as yourself." Jesus said to him, "You have answered correctly. Do this, and you will live." But the legal expert wanted to prove that he was right, so he said to Jesus, And who is my neighbor?
Oh, that's a good one for today.
I picked this particular Bible reading that we just heard today as today's words of wisdom because I knew I was going to be speaking on the canonization of Fred Mcfeely Rogers at Church in a While. Woo! And we're going to get to the point where we take a vote on that, but there's a couple of things we have to do first. I want to recognize that I picked that verse because now one of the things that 9 years of church ministry has shown me is that, you know, sometimes we look at that, so that twofold saying of Jesus, love our Creator with all of our heart, soul, mind, and strength, and love our neighbors as ourselves. The thing that strikes me the most every time I think about it is the best way to love our Creator is by loving our neighbors as ourselves. And I would lift up Fred Mcfeely Rogers in his life and his ministry as an exemplary figure of doing that. And so, who is my neighbor? It encapsulates a lot of what I think Fred Rogers was about. Who is my neighbor? And we can look at Mr. Rogers. He worked on including as a neighbor those who represented different demographics and different ability levels. He also, I think, is an example of what it looks like to take the time to listen for the sake of understanding each neighbor for who they are. I'm going to set that aside for a moment. In a world where a lot of times it would be so simple to point out who the good guys are and who the bad guys are. I think that as we consider our forest neighborhood that we're a part of, the ecosystems that we live in, that our neighbors, the little red squirrel, you've seen the little red squirrel around here, haven't you?
No.
No?
I've never seen a wood squirrel.
Oh,
they're
cool.
cute.
What? It's a squirrel. It's little. You can fit it in the palm of your hand. It probably won't let you do that, though. What do the little red squirrels sound like? Yeah, they do that. And they scold you. They go. Yeah. There's some red squirrels that live out here in these pine trees, and the pines and the spruces, and even the firs up north. There's also a particular kind of bird that's one of my friend Marcia's favorite birds. I have a picture of it here. It's called the Blackburnian warbler. Right? There it is. We call it good old Fireface because it has really orange feathers on the head. And it says, sleep, 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 sleepy, sleep. Sleep, 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 sleepy, sleep. Anyway, there it is.
Fireface?
Fireface. Yeah, you can pass that around. Just make sure that gets back to me by the end of the day.
What's a dragon?
So, the Blackburnian warbler and the red squirrel, they live in the same neighborhood. And each of them have a very challenging time making a living. Oh, here's your Blackburnian warbler picture. You can take a look at it and pass it on.
Which part's inside exactly?
Alright, so the head
Is that the orange body
the
part?
head is right here, the beak is right here, and the tail is right here.
Oh, okay. So that orange part's kind of part of the
That's the face. That's why it's called a Fireface. Would you like me to pass it to them? There you go. Laura. Just pass that around. So they have it's a challenging thing for them to live in this neighborhood because each of them has to find enough food to survive, has to find a good place to live, to call home. Well, as it so happens, they both like to live near the tops of these big coniferous trees.
They're conference.
Coniferous trees are evergreen trees or trees that hold their needles all year round. These are coniferous trees here, the pine trees and the spruces.
And they are so pokey.
They're so pokey, yes they are.
Sometimes if you touch them, they're not as pokey.
Yeah. And so our black-Bernese warbler likes to build nests in the tops of the trees,
That's an old
especially where they grow thick, where you have multi-spire tops. There's one over here. I can see a couple that have multi-spire tops. If you look at the top of the tree, it has not one, but 2 or more spires at the top of the tree. Where you have multi-spires, that's a great place to build a nest if you're a black-Bernese warbler. Those red squirrels, sometimes when they're at the tops of the trees, especially in the springtime when the new growth is coming out, they like to nip the tops of those new buds. And when they nip the tops of the new buds off to eat the buds and drink a little bit of the sap, guess what happens when those branches start to grow again? They split. And so the little red squirrel nibbling at the top of the tree creates those multi-spires, providing more habitat for the black-Bernese warbler. So you might be thinking, they're friends. But keep in mind that those little red squirrels...
Are they friends with anybody?
If those little red squirrels, if there's a shortage of cones to eat, they will actually eat the eggs of the black-Bernese warblers. Oh my gosh! So it sounds like
house, but man, I'm gonna eat.
Yeah, and so it's in a world where it would be so easy to label the little red squirrel as the straight up bad guy. Because it occasionally eats the eggs of the warblers that live in the tops of the trees. We also have to keep in mind that the little red squirrel is a contributing factor to creating good habitat for them. So, are they friends? Are they enemies? Or are they're frenemies? Yeah. And I think that the relationship between the black-Bernese warblers and the little red squirrels, as we consider what that means for the forest community and how it brings a collective balance, we can be reminded that sometimes things aren't so black and white in our world. And it's worth seeking to understand the people who we live nearby before passing any kind of judgment on them. So that's your Wow of Neighbors Nature Connection moment for the day. And there are some black-Bernese warblers in our forest. Marcia and I received the gift of a sighting earlier today. And if you want to see that after the service, perhaps we can gift you with that opportunity too. So maybe you'll see a connection between something about Fred Rogers and our forest neighbors, and maybe not. But here's your Fred Rogers trivia for the day. What is Fred Rogers' middle name? Mcfeely. Yeah. You remember? So if you
Mr. Mcfeely is the post office.
Mr. Mcfeely, the post office man from Mr. Rogers' neighborhood. That's actually Mr. Rogers' middle name. So it's Fred Mcfeely Rogers is the one whom we are presenting for canonization today. A couple of fun facts. Fred Mcfeely Rogers lived from March 20th, 1928. Anybody share his birthday, March 20th? Anybody close?
I have a birthday the same month as him.
Same month?
Yeah.
Okay. That's
24.
24th? Oh, so close.
Mine's 8th. That means he's a Pisces.
Yeah. So Mr. Rogers is a Pisces.
Corey's a Pisces.
Yeah? So he was born March 20th, 1928, and he passed away February 27th, 2003. And if those are the two dots in the timeline, there's a lot that happened in that dash between them. Including, but not limited to, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. Anybody heard that?
Yeah!
Yeah.
But you have to read Daniel.
Which aired from February. What's
We've
that?
heard Daniel Tiger.
Oh, Daniel Tiger. Yeah. Is that your favorite character from Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood?
Well, because it's its own thing now, yeah.
Oh, it's his own. Okay.
Yeah, Daniel Tiger's like a big deal.
Daniel Tiger neighborhood.
That's what they thought we were singing at the beginning. They're like, we're singing Daniel Tiger. Sorta.
Oh my gosh, I should have done more research. Wow. So Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood was aired from February 19th, 1968 to August 31st, 2001. And that was presented through... Should I let you guess here? How many episodes do you think? Ballpark. How many episodes of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood? 600, a little higher.
700.
700, higher. 800, higher.
900.
1,000, lower.
900.
900, okay, 900 minus 5.
885. 95.
895 episodes. Wow. Yeah. And now, in a moment, I'm going to invite you to share some of your favorite Mr. Rogers moments from his life and from his work, including but not limited to Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. But first, I want to share with you that I graduated from Pittsburgh Seminary in 2015. Fred Mcfeely Rogers graduated from Pittsburgh Seminary. That's pretty cool to share that with him. He graduated in 1962. And the Presbyterian Church at that time, now keep in mind that different people have different gifts. And so it seems that Fred Rogers found that his gifts could not find their full expression possibly in the context of the local church. And so he felt led to do a different kind of ministry. Obviously, it worked out pretty good for a lot of people. And so the Presbyterian Church, upon ordaining Mr. Rogers, ordaining Fred Mcfeely Rogers, charged him with a special mission. And that was, and I quote, "Keep doing what he was doing on television." Just keep doing what you're doing, Fred. We're going to pray for you, right? And one of the taglines that anybody who has watched Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood might know is, "You made this day a special day just by being you." I'm going to take my chair over here and have a seat. And just open it up to a sharing. What are some of your favorite Fred Mcfeely Rogers moments?
I'm going to start off by saying that I'm eager to hear these. I didn't find out that he was a wonderful man until I saw a program about him. And I was like, wow, have I missed out? In 1969, when my sister was born, my mom would, we'd watch TV, and that Mr. Rogers would come on, and I'm ashamed to admit that I was afraid of him. Because I thought that if I turned the channel, like if it came on, I would watch it, but I would be not engaged because I was afraid that he would know that I didn't like puppets.
Oh my God.
Or he would know that I would. And I can't now help but think, oh my gosh, he would have thought exactly the opposite.
Of course.
He would have understood. So I would then not go into the living room during certain times.
Oh my
Does that mean
God.
it's like Sesame
I think that
I did
speaks
like
to how personable he made the show feel. That when you were watching it, you felt like he was right there with you as a kid.
I never felt that way about any other
Right,
show.
and he would look the camera straight in, like he was looking at you.
Yeah.
That
So
just
funny.
affected you differently than others.
So I'm eager to hear
Yeah.
what some other people have watched. What did you like about it?
Well, I have to say, I had a unique experience in I think it was 89. I went to a workshop and Mr. Rogers was there. And I got to actually meet him. And he was, I said after that, he was as real on TV in person. He was just exactly the same. He was a real, it was just like unbelievable. And we spent a couple of days with him at this workshop. And by the time it was over, I think he knew us all.
Oh my gosh.
And it was amazing, just an amazing experience. And I look back on that, I'm one of the few that can actually say I got the privilege of meeting him and actually talking to him.
That's so cool. Mr. Rogers more adult than I did.
Yeah. We went to see the documentary about him. We watched it at the Cinemapolis in Ithaca. And I remember going to the bathroom afterwards. A couple had brought their, like, I don't know, maybe she was a 12-year-old daughter. And after watching the movie, and so I assume she didn't grow up with him at her age, but she's like, Mom, I just keep crying and I don't know why. It's like, there's a lot to process in that movie. And like, I just having that effect on non-kids as well.
Wow.
I loved finding out so much stuff about him as an adult. And the coolest thing from the documentary that I remember is he kept his weight at 143 pounds because that number was like spiritually significant to him. 143 stood for I love you, the number of letters in those words.
So he'd be reminded every time he stepped on a scale?
So yes.
Oh my gosh.
Every time somebody said so to him it was like self-affirmation, like he loved himself and God loved him, like every time he saw that number, and he would like write it places and different things. So 143 is like shorthand for I love you. And that was so meaningful to him that he kept his weight there for like most of his adult life.
I read recently that he started to narrate what he was doing on the show in response to a letter he received from a blind viewer who half the time didn't know what was going on because it wasn't being described. And so like it's like, oh, I'm feeding my fish now, or let's go over to Mr. Trolley, or let's go to picture. And I thought that was really cool.
I would like to watch it. I watched it.
Can I have somebody who would like to present Fred Mcfeely Rogers for Church in the Wild canonization? Hannah.
Yeah.
Do we have a second?
Second.
There's like 5 seconds. All right. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Anybody opposed? Good. Fred Mcfeely Rogers is officially canonized a saint at Church in the Wild.
And Rich failed to mention that not so long ago, he won the Fred Rogers Award from Pittsburgh Theological Seminary for creative ministry. So, I think we have our very own Mr. Rogers.
So Rich, just keep
So
doing
you
what
might
you're doing.
be next on the saint list, Rich. I don't know.
Okay, all right. Let's hold on there for a
Just
moment.
keep doing what you're doing.
Okay.
And we're glad you're going to keep doing it. We're sad it's not going to be here with us. But if anybody wants to go take a tour of the Adirondacks,
Field
we
trip.
know who to call.
Yeah.
You still gonna do your YouTube stuff?
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah, you can follow him on YouTube. Yeah.
So you're gonna be on TV. I mean, you're already on TV.
Yeah.
You're gonna be on.
You basically are the wild Mr. Rogers.
Yes.
I don't know what
YouTube
to
is
say.
the television.
Yeah, YouTube is the new TV, so you're basically already him.
You guys, like, that's like the highest compliment.
It's true. It's true. So, next week, we will be hearing from Cam, who is nominating Rachel Carson, one of the early environmentalists in the United States, as a Church in the Wild saint. And we'll keep lifting up these inspirational people for the next, the rest of this month and next month, as folks that inspire us as part of this wild spiritual community that have some connection to nature or just incredible role models for us as we keep following that wild spirit. So thank you so much, Rich, for everything.
Yes.
But you will be here one more week, right?
Yeah, I'll be here on the 29th.
Yes. Okay, so it's not officially goodbye yet. But a thank you and a celebration. So if you didn't get, there's a book with notes for Rich. If you didn't get it, you can grab it, and he can. We'll give it to him at the end.
You guys, it's just like, there's just so many surprises here today. I was not expecting it. I was just expecting to come and deliver a message about Mr. Rogers.
Well, now we get to share a little bit before we are led in meditation. Is there anything that you've got going on, a celebration or a struggle,
I might be getting a
to
job.
share?
Yay!
Awesome. Thank you. So celebrations or struggles that you want to share, get out before we go inward in meditation. Hannah's possible job. We will hold that excitement with you.
Let's lift up the people in Buffalo.
Yeah, the Buffalo community,
And the Concord.
the Conklin community, our whole county.
And you
Anything else we can? We had a kind of a celebration. I think we had a great board meeting, like long planning, exciting dream meeting. So we have a board up there with some wild spirit dreams. If there's something that you think we should add, anything wild that we might do together, even if it seems impossible, it's sort of like our dream board. You can add up there and we'll see where the Spirit leads us in the years ahead, hopefully. Oh, and we're celebrating a wonderfully successful crowdfunding campaign. We raised $5,400, which is awesome. Thank you all so much for all the support of that. And I think there's probably some checks that are still making their way in. So we are so appreciative of that tangible financial support and all the ways that you show up here with your presence.
All right, so with that, having let out those strong feelings, struggles, and joys, I'm going to invite you to join me in a meditation. It's a version of the meditations we do once a month on Zoom with the new moon. This comes from the Buddhist tradition. It's a loving kindness meditation, and pretty much all wisdom teachers, whether they're Jesus of Nazareth, Buddha, or Fred Rogers, would want us to pursue that practice of loving kindness. So at this time, I invite you to take a comfortable seat that you can hold for a few minutes. Let the feeling of your body bring you into the present moment. The sound of the rain. Bring your awareness to your breath, closing your eyes and resting your attention on your natural breath. At this time, to call to mind someone who has been a good neighbor to you. Maybe a literal neighbor who helped you as a child, or you're friends with today. Maybe a neighbor in the more general sense. Try to picture this good neighbor in your mind, or imagine them physically here in this circle with us. when you've pictured this good neighbor, I invite you to silently offer these words of loving kindness. May you be safe. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you live with ease. May you be safe. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you live with ease. Notice what it feels like in your body as you continue to repeat these phrases of loving kindness and offer them to a good neighbor. I invite you now to call to mind the image or the presence of a neighbor you feel neutral toward. Maybe someone who passes your home, but you don't know them by name. As you picture this neutral neighbor, I invite you to offer the words of loving kindness again. May you be safe. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you live with ease. I invite you now to call to mind a neighbor you've had difficulty with. Try to picture this difficult one before you. And I invite you to offer this one the phrases of loving kindness. May you be safe. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you live with ease. And I invite you now to expand your awareness and try to visualize all who are your neighbor. Whatever that word means to you today, try to picture all your neighbors. And as you imagine all your neighbors, offer them these words of loving kindness. May you be safe. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you live with ease. And having offered these words of loving kindness, I invite you to come back and bring your awareness to your body, to the sounds around us. And whenever you're ready, you may slowly open your eyes.
opportunity to set an intention for our week ahead. A word or a phrase that you want to guide you or to use as a mantra for the next 7 days.
I'm going to take something straight from the wisdom of Jesus and say I'm going to be thinking about that single line, that one question, and what it means. Who is my neighbor?
Spontaneity, I guess, would be a good word.
Ooh, watch out. Good one. We had some fun dreaming today.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want to get caught up in planning yet. I want to keep dreaming for a little bit. It's hard for me to resist that urge to start planning.
Oh, I'm the other way.
I'm gonna rest in the dreaming, yes. Well, whatever word or phrase you come up with, maybe on the drive home, I hope that you will live intentionally this week. And I hope we can continue to think about our neighbors near and far, and especially the city of good neighbors, our friends in Buffalo, and how we can be good neighbors such that the things that happened there yesterday don't happen again. So, let's share our closing blessing, and I welcome you to stand to receive it. If you want, you can participate in it or simply receive it. There's some basic hand motions that we do to embody this blessing in us before we go. Deep peace of running wave to you. Deep peace of flowing air to you. Deep peace of the quiet earth to you. Deep peace of the shining stars to you. Deep peace of the source of peace to you. Peace.